3:30 on ABC. Number 8, Oregon, 5-0. At number 7, Washington, who's also 5-0. Washington currently a 3-point favorite as we record on Wednesday afternoon. Total 67. Fun fact, game day's there, so that's not the fun fact, but that's just a fact. This is the first time both programs have been ranked in the top 10 in the 123-year history of the rivalry.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty cool. This is the biggest game they've ever had against each other. Both teams are coming off a bye, so they should be well rested. Washington won this game last year in Eugene, 37-34 on a 43-yard field goal with 51 seconds left in the game. Man, I can't wait for this. You've got two of the top 3 Heisman frontrunners right now, I would say, facing off against each other. And Michael Penix, I think you pronounced it last episode, Penix, which is just a little, I don't know if we should be doing that.
No.
It's just a little. Yeah, Michael Penix.
Yeah. And listen, here's the thing. It's starting to get cold up there. So you don't know if Penix is going to be his full self. Sometimes
they may
in the
shrivel.
cold weather, he might shrink up in the moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's a whole other thing. We're fucking children. This is
That
ridiculous.
is too. All right. So Michael Penix and Bo Nix. Man, what do you think about this game? Because the favorite has covered the spread in 21 of Oregon's last 24 games, so that's not great for them.
Mm-hmm.
But Oregon has won 4 of its last 6 games as an underdog against top 10 ranked teams.
Oregon's won 15 of their last 18 against Washington. Oregon owns Washington in this series. 3 of the last 4 games have been decided by 4 or less points. I think there's a lot of fun that's going to be happening in this game. Like this has, to me, this feels like Pacific Northwest Bama LSU this year. And the reason why I say that specific game is, man, you got both teams coming off a bye week. There's so much on the line. You are going to have a clear-cut favorite in the Pac-12 after this game. And maybe they could challenge for, like, it's going to take at least a pole position on a potential college football playoff appearance, because I think both of these teams are top 5 teams. I know they're both ranked in the top 10, and I know it's early in the season. I think both these teams are top 5 teams. I will say that Washington has been so good all season long, right? And they have really jumped on teams, and playing in that environment is going to be very, very tough. However, I'll also say that Oregon is more of a complete team to me. Like I know that we've talked about how Washington should be number 1 and all that kind of stuff, and they had a couple weeks ago, I know they scored in every phase of the game, and I'm a big, huge fan of stuff like that. I will also say that, like, I think that Oregon is a better defensive team. I think they have not as much offensive firepower, but not that far from it. And we saw what they did against Colorado with some of the fake punt stuff. So it's like, they can be dangerous in special teams too. So I think it's a very evenly matched, really, really good game.
I do too. And really, the 3 points, I don't know what these days home field gets you as far as points on the spread, but historically, that this spread would say that Vegas thinks these 2 teams are basically a pick 'em if it was on a neutral field.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to take Oregon +3. I don't know if they'll win the game. I actually think just because it's at home, I'll take a nail-biter win for Washington, 33-31. But I've got Oregon covering the +3. That would be the bet. If you're looking to get a little crazy, maybe you take them on the money line if you think they're – because I agree with you. I think their defense is better than Washington's. They can run the ball better than Washington.
Right.
And I just think they have a more balanced offense. And so because it's at home, I'm not fully confident in the pick against Washington, but and again, I think they could probably win the game. So, but my bet would be Oregon +3, 33-31. Washington wins at home.
So anytime there's a game like this, like I really want to look at the fact that, like, all right, it's at home. This is a tough place to play. And then you look at some of the other stuff, I think, that are some of the lazier narratives, like Bo Nix on the road. Is Bo Nix going to be good on the road? He struggled so much at Auburn, in his career there. They struggled earlier on the road this season against Texas Tech. I think they won that game 38-30, and that was like kind of by like the hair of their chinny chin chin type of game. Here's the thing, though. Any kind of game like this, I fully expect Washington to come out like really good on script, like really, really good on script. They are one of the best, if not the best, offenses in the entire country, and they've got weapons all over the field. Now, that being said, I think that Oregon has a better chance in this game of being able to play ball control because they can run the football effectively too, not just through the air. I think Washington averaged like 64% of their pass play or their plays were pass plays. They're not as balanced as you would expect, even though like they have put up numbers in the run game as well. But in this game, like any type of big game like this, for me, it kind of boils down to like who's tougher. And I feel like this is an odd thing I feel like I'm going to say, but I feel like Oregon is much tougher than Washington because we're talking about an Oregon team that like we saw what they did against Colorado. I know that was at home, but they play better defense. They play really well on the lines of scrimmage. Like, I mean, like that's a team that gave up 5 sacks a year ago. I think after the Colorado game, they only give up 2 so far throughout the season. I like them to win because I think they're going to be a tougher team in the trenches. So I've got Oregon winning 38-30.
Awesome. I hope it's a shootout like we think. I mean, the total was suggested, but we'll see. I haven't looked at the weather, but it is in Seattle, cold and rainy.
Overcast and rainy.
Yeah, would favor Oregon because they can run the ball better. So we'll see how it plays out.
With a chance of grunge music.
Love grunge music.